Valley Police Department is investigating another suspicious vehicle incident in which the driver appeared to follow a junior high school girl after she got off the school bus Friday afternoon. Reporter Pafua Yang joins us live with more details. Pafua?
Shannon, the girl told police that she was being followed around this area near Lions Park. Now, police say this is actually the second time in this area that someone has reported of a suspicious car. Now, the vehicle is described as a blue mid-size sedan driven by a white man in his 30s with brown hair. They say he was wearing a brown hoodie, partially pulled up. Officers talked with the bus company, the school district, and the neighborhood for any surveillance cameras. Authorities told us that there have been some leads but wouldn't go into details. Officials are encouraging parents to talk to their kids to come up with a safety plan.
As far as just knowing their surroundings, knowing what belongs and what doesn't belong in the area of their homes, possibly having any sort of contact with neighbors too, just so neighbors are aware, so kids know of safe places they could potentially go to if they do see this type of behavior in the area.
The Golden Valley Police Department is asking you to call them if you live in the area and have surveillance videos of the car. For now, live in Golden Valley, Pafua Yang, CCX News.
All right, thank you, Pafua. A Brooklyn Center man is charged in 2 violent robbery cases that have made national news and led to concerns about crime in downtown Minneapolis. Adrian Cooper is one of 18 people charged. They range in age from 15 to 27 years old. Cooper, who is 25, was the only person charged in both of the crimes, which included an attack on a man near Target Field. In each of the cases, groups of young men targeted a lone individual to steal that person's phone, which was pawned for cash at automated kiosks. The Osseo Gun Club says to stay competitive, they need to expand their hours. The gun club wants to remove a permit restriction that limits its hours of operation. The Osseo Planning Commission recommends approval. The Osseo City Council, though, will have the final say. When the gun club originally went in 5 years ago, the city limited the use because of possible noise concerns. But noise hasn't been an issue, and the gun club says some groups need to use their facility earlier in the day. Local kids got the chance to learn about school bus safety in a fun way. The first student safety dog bus tour stopped in at Edinbrook Elementary on Tuesday. Kids learned how to ride the bus safely while touring one and exploring information stations. And as a bonus, they could get their picture taken with the safety dog.
Not all students ride a bus every day, but just about every student is going to be on a bus at some point, whether that's for a field trip or a charter, or if it is a regular bus rider. So understanding how to keep themselves safe is really important.
The bus tour is a nationwide traveling event, and they are off to Racine, Wisconsin next. The state of Minnesota has a good reputation when it comes to voter turnout, and the Secretary of State wants to keep it that way. Secretary of State Steve Simon spoke in Golden Valley Monday night about the state's impressive voter turnout record. He also spoke about election security and that Minnesota was one of 21 states targeted by a foreign government in 2016.
We have a presidential election coming up, and a lot of people are rightly asking, what are we doing to prepare? What happened in 2016? What can we learn from it? And is our vote secure? Spoiler alert, the answer is yes, votes are secure. But we want to make sure people understand why that is.
Golden Valley does have an election coming up where voters will choose 2 council positions and a mayor. Absentee voting begins at City Hall on Friday. Thanks to last year's voter-approved bond referendum, Brooklyn Park residents will soon see improvements in city parks. The referendum provides Brooklyn Park with $26 million of funding. The money will be used all across the city in many different ways. It will be spent on parks, trails, natural resources, upgrades to the Community Activity Center, and the item farm.
And so over the next year, what we're going to be doing is talking about the most important gaps to fill, and then also take a look at some loop trails that we want to light within the system. And then we will also be incorporating some signage and doing some advanced planning where those key destination decision points within our park system.
Brooklyn Park has 60 city parks and 55 miles of trails. Improvements to the Community Activity Center could include a teen center, expansion of the senior center, and possibly getting a business partner to fund a pool. Meanwhile, repairs continue at the Crystal Cove Aquatic Center. Workers are fixing leaks in the pool, which shut down a few weeks ago for the fall and winter seasons. The leaks were an issue in the summer months, which led to extra costs.
This actually is a pretty big deal for us because this is something that it's been since 2006 since this was done, and it would typically last about that many years, and in this case it's a failure we didn't anticipate.
The city hopes work can be finished up this fall so the Crystal Cove can reopen on time next spring. Brooklyn Park honored some of their best gardens recently with its Summer Blossom Awards. As we go to break, here are a few of the winning gardens. Congrats to everyone.
We are already past the halfway point of the high school girls tennis season. In the Northwest Suburban Conference, Osseo traveled to Champlin Park High School for a conference match. #1 singles, Osseo's Jessica Dahl serves to Champlin's Alex Replier. Dahl with the forehand winner. But freshman Replier is a pretty good player. Her serve here sets up a cross-court forehand winner. She wins the match in straight sets. 2 singles, Justina Palmer for Champlin Park, Rachel Erickson for Osseo. Palmer with the point. Match point, Erickson can't handle the return and Palmer wins it 6-1, 6-2. 3 singles, Clara Johnson the far court for Champlin Park, Hannah Johnson for Osseo. Clara Johnson with the backhand winner. And a match point, Clara Johnson will get the drop shot winner for a 6-1, 6-1 victory. 1 doubles play. You look at that last point from singles. It'll be Tori Asquith serving for Osseo. Her partner Sydney Masteller's second volley coming up here. Good for a winner. Alyssa Ostendorf's serve will set up a volley winner for Kiera Kelleher and a Rebels point. Champlin Park playing well in this match. And on match point, nice swinging volley winner by Kelleher gets Champlin Park a straight set win. The Rebels win all 7 matches over the Orioles. The Champlin Park girls soccer team is playing very well this season. Jay Wilcox has more on the Rebels.
It's so far so good for the Champlin Park girls soccer team. The Rebels enter Tuesday with a 6-0-1 record, with 4 of the 6 wins via shutout. They're ranked 10th in this week's state poll. They had a good feeling coming in that this team could excel.
Most of our team is comprised of returning players, and so I guess we would be pretty talented, but we definitely had a couple key players come in this year that have definitely changed us for the best.
I think coming into the season, we kind of expected to be one of the top competitors and very competitive, knowing that we did have very skilled players coming onto our team and returning to our team.
Former Hopkins girls coach Keith Pavelka took over as Rebels head coach this season. The players say it hasn't been a tough transition.
I think that a lot of us were nervous and kind of excited about getting a new coach, and I think that we're all super happy with how the season's turning out so far. Keith is trying to get us to do a more possession sort of game, and I think that we've been really working hard at that at practice, and it's really been turning out in the game.
It's been actually really easy having a new coach, and he's brought a lot of new ideas and new motivation to the team. A thing he really stresses is working hard every game and seeing how we can improve during this game and the next one and the next one, not just being okay with being okay with a win.
Champlin Park had a very strong season a year ago, starting 10-1 and ultimately going 13-4-1. They lost in the Section 5 AA semifinals to Centennial. With Centennial and Maple Grove moving out of Section 5, The Rebels should have a good shot at a program first.
We definitely have state tournament goals in mind, and just one game at a time and trying to get to that section final so that we can get our first school history soccer berth into the state tournament.
For now, Champlin Park's just looking to play well game in and game out, and the results will come. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Armstrong's football team is 3-0 this season. On this week's Sports Jam show on CCX, Jay Wilcox profiles a dynamic duo for the Falcons, and here's part of that story.
But the scenario almost didn't play out this way for Armstrong quarterback Jake Breitbach and wide receiver Ty Bowman. Breitbach tore the ACL in his left knee in the section playoffs in basketball, and only an extra speedy recovery had him back on the field by game 1 this fall.
When they first did the MRI and he told me I tore my ACL, he basically said, like, it'll for sure be, 9 to 10 months. So that for sure put all of football out of there. And then at that point, I was just hoping to get back to some of basketball.
You can see the rest of that story this week on Sports Jam.